So when you don't have enough money and you want more money, Source recognizes that you want more money and becomes vibrationally at one with that idea of more money. The question is, what's happening to you? Now, the contrast usually causes you to want more money, and immediately the desire for more money is born within you, or more of anything. We're just starting there because it's the dominant vibration of desire in every room. Eventually you'll get over that as you realize that that's a given. Your dominant desire will be alignment, but for now. So here is this desire for dollars, and Source immediately becomes one with that idea for dollars. The question that we want to put to you is, what are you doing with your focus relative to this desire that your life has just caused you to give birth to? And we have to tell you that most of you, even though your experience has caused you to prefer or desire more money, and even though the larger part of you has gone to that and become a vibrational match to that more money, most of you are still beating the drum of not enough money. So your life has done for you what you knew it would do. It has provided a format that caused you to focus, that caused you to cause an expansion of the universe on your behalf. You said, I prefer this. And Source, who in its infinite wisdom knows that no one would know better on the leading edge, what's better for the leading edge perceiver who's out there perceiving on the leading edge than the leading edge perceiver out there perceiving on the leading edge. In other words, there's no point in someone, that's sort of like, have you ever had a job where you're doing the work and somebody, Jerry and Esther checked into a campground last night before, and they could not find it in the KOA, Campground of America book, even though it's been there before. It's not in the new book. And so they said, well, maybe they're not a Campground of America campground anymore. And so they looked in their Woodall's directory, and there was an 800 number, and when they called it, it was a KOA directory number saying, this campground is no longer part of our network. Essentially, you're on your own. So Esther called information. They couldn't find them. So they finally just ended up driving there because they knew where they were. And fortunately, they had a space for them. And Esther said, you're getting a little hard to find, you know. Information doesn't know about you, and the KOA directory doesn't know about you. And he said, we've been part of the KOA network for 30 years. And in 30 years, the head office only came to see us once. And yet they want to tell us how to run our campground from Billings. Very unsatisfying to him that they're telling him what they need to do and how they need to run their campground when they've never even stood on the ground at the campground. It doesn't seem like they would be the ones making the best decisions, does it? And in a similar example, we know you have examples like that. The man upstairs, we don't mean that man, we mean the one who signs your paycheck, who wants to micromanage what you are doing. When you know what you are doing, you have figured out the best way to go about what you are doing. And certainly you want to integrate that broader view. But there is so much to be said for that hands-on view. And Source understands that. Nobody knows better than you what preferences you want. And Source is so aware that no one knows better than you, that in the moment that a preference is born within you, Source becomes 100% in vibrational alignment with the desire that you have given birth to. So much so that there is a vibrational escrow waiting for you. A vibrational escrow that is the combination of all of the things that you've been asking for from your positive and negative perspectives. In other words, when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want, and Source says, of course you do, and becomes one with it. And so now that is the reason that it is possible for there to be a split energy going on inside of you. In other words, here you are really wanting this, but here you are over here beating the drum of this. All guidance systems work on the premise of 2 points of perspective, 2 points of relativity. As Jerry and Esther program their devices, they tell the device where they want to go. And since the system already knows where they are, it just calculates a route and says, please proceed to the highlighted route, gives them turn-by-turn directions. And so you have guidance within you too that is established on that 2 points of vibrational relativity. Your emotional guidance system is letting you know in every moment, whether you are thinking long range 20, 30, 40, 50 years out, whether you're thinking about the next 5 years, whether you're thinking about this year, whether you're thinking about this day, whether you're thinking about this specific segment, you can tell by the way you feel whether you are up to speed with that which you have become. And friends, You got to get up to speed with what life has caused you to become, because you can't pull back. You cannot be less than what life has caused you to become and ever be a vibrational match to source energy, who you provided the format to become that. Does that make sense to you? When life causes you to expand, if only for a moment, and we call them rockets of desire for a reason. Your life causes you to shoot out that rocket, and the reason we call it a rocket is because your life causes you to shoot it out. Source becomes one with it, but you're usually over here beating the drum of whatever it is that caused you to shoot the rocket out to begin with. So the art of allowing, which is what we are calling this gathering, is the art of me now bringing myself into vibrational alignment with that which life has caused me to become. And we want you to be easy about this, because your life will continue to cause you to become yet more and more and more and more and more. In other words, you're not ever going to catch up with what life is causing you to become, because as quickly as contrast causes you to give birth to it, so there it is, you've given birth to something, source becomes immediately at one with it, but you don't. You've got some work to do. So you work to move yourself up the emotional scale. You play the positive what-if game. You pretend it's already happened. You visualize it. You imagine it. You do everything that you can do to make yourself feel good about it. We'll talk about that all day here today. And then you become a vibrational match to this new idea, to the new you that life has caused you to become. And in doing so, once you become that vibrational match to it, manifestation swirls in all around it. It fills in exactly as the vibration is calling, because law of attraction is always matching that vibration. And now you stand in this new manifested place with a whole new set of contrasting experiences, which are inevitably going to cause you to give birth to yet another new desire, which in the beginning you're not going to be a vibrational match to. So now you think about it, you pretend it, you imagine it until you become a vibrational match to it. And as you do, then source energy, which has always been vibrationally there, gives you the indicator that you are a vibrational match to it. You can tell by the way you feel. And then manifestation occurs. And now here you stand on a new platform with a new set of contrasting experiences, which cause you to give birth to a new rocket of desire, which at first you're not a vibrational match to, but you know the work, so you get up to speed with it, and now you're a vibrational match to it. And now it manifests, and now you stand in a new place of vibrational contrast. And so now you're in this new contrasting place. You give birth to another rocket of desire. And at first you're not a vibrational match to it at all. But you can tell by the way you feel that you're not. And so because you care about how you feel, you get vibrationally up to speed with this new rocket of desire. And now you're a vibrational match to it. And shortly thereafter, or immediately thereafter, or instantly thereafter, or in that moment, the manifestation then occurs. And now you're standing in a new set of contrasting experience, where you give birth to another rocket of desire, which at first you're not a vibrational match to. Source is over there, but you're over here, and now you know what to do. So you get up to speed with it, and now you are a vibrational match to it, and now it manifests. And now you're standing in a new set of contrasting experiences, which give birth to another rocket of desire. We're going to do this all day. Take your break if you want. So, but we're wanting to make the point that you're always going to have this crack between what you've just given birth to and you're having caught up with it vibrationally, because that's what an expanding universe, that's what an expanding being is always about. And the reason that we are really tempted to do that all day, just to make the point, you would leave here knowing, you might anyway, but you would leave here knowing that you're not ever going to get it done. And that you may just as well make peace with where you are, because you are always going to be standing in a place with some unfulfilled desires. And that, friends, is a good thing, not a bad thing. And if you can get that, then in the moment that you give birth to another rocket of desire, you will cease beating the drum of what's gone wrong. Do you get that? In other words, the only reason that we can even figure out a little bit that you could possibly not just go with the rocket like we do is because you have some doubt that it can happen, or some belief that you're going to stay here. In other words, the only reason that it's ever uncomfortable, think about it. So someone dangles a beautiful carrot of some kind in front of you. Carrots of diamonds, or carrots of travel, or carrots of relationship promises. In other words, someone shows you something that you want, and you know that in time and not much time, you can have it if you want it, and you want it. So knowing you can have it, it just calls you, doesn't it? That's called inspiration. That's called feeling good. But if something is dangled before you and you want it and you have belief that you can't have it, that is miserable. And it's that erroneous, incorrect, invalid, ridiculous perspective that we want to help you drum out of yourselves here today. In other words, we want you to leave here knowing that it does not matter where you stand in relationship to anything that you want, 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, this red hot minute down the road. We want you to realize that there is nothing that you cannot be or do or have. If this time-space reality has inspired that desire within you, it is our promise to you that this time-space reality can deliver the goods. But the goods can't come to you till you close this gap. And when you are at one with the idea of there even being a gap, then you're more likely to close it. So, did we make our point? Do you hear it, that you can close the gap with far less work than any of you have really thought? And did we make the point that the gap will only temporarily be closed? And so it's a matter of opening the gap, closing the gap, and then experiencing a moment of satisfaction before you open the gap and close the gap and experience a moment of satisfaction. So what about never being dissatisfied when the gap is open? What about enjoying the journey? What about recognizing your own progress? What about that? What we notice is that if you're focused only upon your journey, when you go on a vacation, you don't say, I'm going to go to all of these cities and I'm going to come back home. Go here, 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 then home. Oh, wait, we're already home. Why go? Let's just check vacation off the list because we have accomplished it already. Because you're not going on the vacation to achieve it, to accomplish it, to finish it. You're going on the vacation for what it provides, for the stimulation, for the fun, for the new life that it breathes into you. And so, in the same way, you don't give birth to a new desire to accomplish it. You give birth to the new desire for the life-giving, summoning qualities that it provides, you see. And so when you get it, that there's constant rebirthing, in other words, a new idea, a new alignment, a new idea, a new alignment, a new idea, a new alignment. And when you get into that rhythm where there is not so much expanse between what I want and where I am, just that vibrational realization, that vibrational relativity, a conscious awareness of the vibrational mix within me, and a knowledge that I can control the mix. Now you're rolling. Now you're feeling like you felt when you decided to come forth into this physical body. Now you have reclaimed that knowledge that you are a masterful creator and that this is a playground or an environment that promises magnificent things for you, you see. Now there's one big step that you have to take, and we'd like it to be in your short range segment, not 20, 30, 40, 50 years down the road, although it's up to you. And that is, you have to decide that these 2 points of vibrational relativity, where I am in relationship to where I want to be, are the only 2 factors of importance to me. In other words, where I am financially in relationship with what I think I want, not where I am in relationship to my brother-in-law, not where I am in relationship to the neighbor, not where I am in relationship to someone else, where I am in relationship to my own desires. Because when you factor out what everybody else is doing, now you clean up your vibration in a very big way. And it then becomes possible for you to get a true reading on what your vibrational mix is. Can you imagine if Jerry and Esther got into their monster bus and programmed their navigational system to the next destination, and then the navigational system, in an effort to be helpful, gave them 10 other people's maps, 10 other people's location and 10 other people's maps. And suddenly they're hearing places that they are not. They're looking at maps that have no relevancy to where they are. It would be a chaotic experience. And yet, you attempt that every day.